Demonstrates that green is about green tech and jobs, and I think we've got the expertise and the resources and the enthusiasm to do just that.
But Britain's appetite for Latvian timber calls into question this enthusiasm. Latvia is a remarkable country because of its unique forests. Often described as one big nature reserve, it has almost 28,000 species of flora and fauna, many of which are endangered elsewhere in Europe. In summer, some of the world's rarest birds breed here, including the lesser-spotted eagle.
The main reason behind the large biological diversity in forests is not that the forests haven't been disturbed, but they've been managed for a long period of time non-intensively until about 1960. And that's the main reason why there are large populations of black storks. And of the wolf and the lynx, well, the wolf, lynx, and beaver are three animals that Latvia have permission to hunt in Europe because there are large populations of them.
Latvia's forests are also unique for having thousands of key habitats, small ecosystems rich in biodiversity.
It's estimated that about 70% of the woodland key habitats are not identified yet, and these forests are being cut. One example, in the summer, with students, we were in one black alder swamp. And in that swamp, there's 6 indicator species and 1 European protected species of mosses and lichens. And last month, when I drove past the area, it had been cut down.
This year, Latvia is experiencing its hardest winter for over half a century. Trees have fallen onto power lines. Much of the country is without electricity. As far as the forests are concerned, it's a catastrophe. These trees, seen bent over, have literally frozen to death. You might think that with the heaviest snow for 70 years, the logging industry would grind to a halt. But you'd be wrong. Latvia is one of the most densely forested nations in Europe, with over 50% forest cover, some 12,000 square miles. These are mostly state-owned and managed by LVM, the state logging company. A third of this timber is exported to the UK, guaranteed as having been sustainably harvested by the Forest Stewardship Council, the FSC, a registered charity. On its website, the FSC says it is dedicated to promoting responsible management of the world's forests. And when you see the FSC logo on a label, you can buy timber and other wood products, such as paper, with the confidence that you are not contributing to the destruction of the world's forests.
If you have FSCs, then they can't say that you are, for example, destroying forests.
But can the FSC logo be trusted?
In the end of the day, it's a marketing tool, nothing else.
Companies around the world wishing to have the FSC logo on their product have to pay for the privilege. In the UK, the FSC stamp provides the charity with 70% of its income. And it can be seen prominently on any number of products.
They like to flaunt the fact and use it in their advertising that they are meeting our FSC, that they're meeting our FSC rules and that they're committed to our principles. We have to check that, so we charge them, but it's of great value to them. That's where the return is to the company, because they're associating themselves with us.
But many of Latvia's precious forests, supposedly protected by EU law, are being cut down at an unsustainable rate. The timber is removed and passed on to UK consumers, sold with the FSC logo on it. Forest harvesters like this one have a cutting power equal to 30 chainsaws. A tree that has taken over 100 years to grow can be reduced to logs in 2 minutes. In Latvia, 150 harvesters work night and day with a capacity to consume 15 million cubic meters every year, double the legal limit. But more harvesters are on the way, and there is no stopping them. A concerned insider told me that no one really knows how much forest is being cut. Part of the confusion is that when an area is replanted, it's classified as forest, even though the saplings are just a few inches tall and take 100 years to reach maturity. LVM, the state logging company, are the main beneficiary of this industrial felling.
First, I will explain to you on the computer what are we doing, how are we doing that, and after that we can go to the forest and see how all of that looks in the reality.
Thomas Kotovic was eager to defend LVM's case as responsible forest managers. Having shown us a computer presentation, he took us to a felling site known as a stand and translated for the foreman.
And this particular stand was 132 years old, so this means it was older than usual.
Jā, un šeit mēs varam redzēt tās vērtības, ko mēs šeit mežā saglabājam un atstājam necirstas.
And one can very easily see here all the things that we leave here for the nature, these values which are left for the nature to thrive.
In recent years, the practice of clear cutting has taken root in Latvia. This is where a large area of forest, say 10 hectares, is stripped of virtually every tree. This has left Latvia riddled with a patchwork of tens of thousands of clear cuts. At ground level, it's hard to see their impact. But from the air, the full scale is obvious. Maris Strasd has been studying clear cuts for many years.
That actually shows how approximately our forests look from above. So this is this chessboard picture. All the light bits are clear cuts. You see that this is not a single location, and we can browse to almost any other part of the country. This fragmentation rate is simply unbelievable. Certainly people do not realize the true scale of what is going on yet.
The credit crunch has hit Latvia hard. Against the backdrop of riots in Riga over austerity measures, Latvia's forest is seen as a cash cow and has come under intense pressure. 2 years ago, the cabinet approved a doubling of the allowable cut.
This was a temporary measure, and temporary measure to overcome consequences of economic crisis, and primarily targeted to keep the jobs in forestry and forest-based industries.
But logging on this scale is not sustainable and threatens the very jobs they are claiming to support. But are they likely to increase it again?
I think this is the limit. I mean, at some point it will have to go down because there won't be enough wood. At some point in time, the Wood Federation will realize companies will go bankrupt because there will be a lot less wood available in the future. And you can't go on like this forever.
2 years ago it was said it will be a short-time increase for 2 years. 2 years have passed. Now it is kept for another 3 years. Possibly after another 3 years it will be said, okay, we need 10 more. And then it will be nothing left.
At any time, night or day, hundreds of logging trucks are on the move. Each truck can be pinpointed and directed to the correct sawmill from LVM's headquarters in Riga. This is one of the largest sawmills in Europe. Here, everything is automated